Hi, my name is Matthew Albrecht, and I'm the author of the new book entitled Nourish Yourself Whole, a guide to core dietary pillars with achievable steps for vibrant health. And I'm recording this video for the new year, as I know so many folks set New Year's resolutions to be healthier and more vibrant. And I'm recording it in soft spoken word in an ASMR type style. So I'm going to read it today, soft spokenly. And let's see, I think I'll read, since it's a new year and there's so much going on in the world, um, a couple of sections. Well, this book is mostly about nutrition. It also covers areas relating to physical health, exercise, mental health, getting out environmental toxins from your life, a whole myriad of ways in which we can live a healthier and more vibrant life. And I also talk about the social changes that need to happen so that everything around us is more healthy and supportive of our overall health. So I'm going to read just to kick off the year so that maybe collectively I can help contribute towards our our collective health. I'm going to read a section, two sections. The first entitled Body, Mind, and Spirit, an intricate interplay, which is about the connection between all of our senses and beingness. And then another section entitled Healing Ourselves and Healing Our Planet. So I'm going to go to those sections in the book. Okay, my glasses on so I can read it really well. Okay, body, mind, and spirit, an intricate interplay. The human body is a vibrant glory of a vessel. There are so many intricate and finely tuned systems inside us, working in careful concert to keep us not only functioning, but also ideally thriving. From the tiniest microelements like our DNA, cells, mitochondria, and even foreign microbes and bacteria, which actually outnumber our own cells tenfold. There are so many components and systems whirling around within our bodies every single second. Most of them perform functions critical to our survival and hopefully our flourishing. Whether you believe they are fashioned by the heavens, nature, or something in between or beyond, our bodies really are remarkable creations. There's a constant and wondrous dance going on between what we allow into our bodies and what it has to offer us in return. Everything we introduce into it, that is, into our body, mind, feelings, and spirit, becomes the raw materials from which it's able to generate. That may seem obvious, but it means everything. Our thoughts, our hopes and dreams, our fears, our stressors, our current and past traumas, our intentions and prayers, how we move and exercise our bodies, and of course, the nutrients we invest into it or that we don't. All of these factors make up and significantly influence our physical being. These elements alchemize deep inside us to generate either a vibrant and healthy flow of energy or a stunted or even diseased flow. Many more of us nowadays, in the age of the blossoming and deepening field of psychology and mass culture thought leaders like Oprah, etc., are starting to better understand the negative impacts that stress and lack of movement and exercise have on our body functions. Many are also better understanding the benefits of mindfulness, meditation, spiritual and personal growth work, a good therapist, and movement practices like yoga or Tai Chi, just to name a few modalities. Serious spiritual teachers have, of course, been at least partly aware of this mind body spirit interplay for millennia, but it's now reaching a more widespread and mainstream cultural recognition. While we frequently hear the adage, you are what you eat, most people fail to understand the breadth and depth at which nutrition choices impact us. It's not only physical effects like energy levels, disease, weight, health, and so on. Research is beginning to demonstrate that a nourishing diet or lack thereof can have a significant impact on our emotional well-being and mood. Sometimes as much or more than psychological or even external stressors. I briefly mentioned earlier, if you read the book, of my surprise at how much it positively impacted my mood, which it did. I shared earlier in the book how much my change just in nutrition, even after years of a lot of psychological and spiritual personal growth work, how much my shifting of nutrition had such a tremendously positive impact on my physical well-being and my psychological well-being as well, in ways that really surprised me. And yet this awareness that is emerging in the science hasn't been well explored in our mainstream discourse. While psychological challenges like anxiety, stress, depression, a pessimistic attitude, unhealthy relationships, a lack of social connection, and trauma have a tremendous impact on emotional well-being, lack of proper nutrition can and does cause significant damage to our mental state. More often than we realize, nutritional imbalances can be the driving force of trouble. Don't get me wrong. As I shared in my own story of healing, it's vital that we engage in a full range of emotional and physical wellness activities that are imperative to a thriving self. Personal and spiritual growth work have a profound benefit on our emotional well-being that can't be avoided if we want to live a fully realized life. However, I believe that our lack of focus on nutrition is one of the unsung tenets of an emotionally fulfilled life. For those who do believe in spirit, the body is where the soul meets on this plane of existence. I believe that good nutritional practices can be a profound spiritual act, as I'm literally tuning my body to be in a synchronized rhythm and flow with life. Every bite of food I eat, every choice I make, can put me closer to or further from alignment with my utmost potential and highest self. I want to be connected to that flow of life, not mindlessly adrift from it. So that completes that section. And I'm going to take a sip of water for my health and for my throat's health. This next section is entitled Healing Ourselves and Healing Our Planet. So, speaking of the flow of life, we too often ignore a deep connection to the whole of the planet when it comes to our food choices. What we eat not only has an impact on our own health, but the health of the planet and all of its inhabitants. We are intricately interconnected to all the systems of the earth, whether we know it or not, and whether we like it or not. We evolved with this kind of understanding much more ingrained into our whole lives and actions. Most ancient cultures had deep working knowledge of the seasons, stars, wildlife, water systems, food supplies, and so much more. For most of our ancestors, connection to nature was a sacred and intimate part of our daily lives. When it came to food, we either hunted, collected, or grew our own. We were more closely aware of the consequences of good or bad actions relating to it. If we improperly harvested or damaged the land, we might not have food the next season. If we overhunted, the same would be true. In modern times, we're largely disconnected from where our food comes. We mostly either get it directly from grocery shelves or have it made for us in restaurants. Too many are casually thoughtless about what goes into growing and tending to our food supply. This is having vast and troubling consequences. Too much of our food is now produced or processed by big agribusiness, looking to make a profit at unhealthy systemic costs rather than the more sustainable practices of regenerative agriculture, which are farming and grazing methods that help reverse climate change and rebuild our depleting soils. We overspray pesticides, overuse chemically based fertilizers, are depleting essential topsoil 10 times faster than it can be replenished, and treat our animals too often in a cruel and unhealthy manner. Our small family farms and ranches are rapidly vanishing, replaced by giant corporate farming operations that have far less care for long-term consequences, but instead are looking to financial bottom line profits. To be fair and accurate, there are many farmers and ranchers who not only care deeply, they also tend as well as they can to their jobs, lands, and animals. I grew up on a farm and ranch in Texas, and from my family and neighbors have seen the great care that most take. But even with the best of intentions, it can be hard to overcome obstacles when farmers face a behemoth of bad food policy, giant multinational corporate interests, and lobbyists who make it increasingly hard to make sustainable and wholesome choices. And the whole engine is geared for mass production at the cheapest cost. We subsidize so many things that are not the most healthy, like grains, which you'll see in Pillar 2 are probably not the best food for us to eat at the scale we are. This book, by the way, contains the primary thrust of the book are 4 key health pillars. And Pillar 2 is reducing our refined carbohydrate and sugar intake and why that's so important. So, what can we do? Inside the pillars in this book, we'll talk at some depth about the quality of food we eat, making sure to buy organic and more sustainably grown foods. There are real benefits to your health in doing so. But the sustainable future of our planet also needs us to be aware and engaged in protecting the whole chain. Each of us can, of course, make a difference with the choices we make when buying food. Spending our money on organic, locally grown, and sustainably harvested and raised foods as much as we can will make a difference. Every dollar we spend is ultimately a vote for the kind of world we want to live in. It's urgent for the future of our planet and our health that we pay more heed to this. We also need to push for policy changes so that we can better protect this delicate web of ecological systems that need to be in place to feed ourselves and tend to the larger web of life. We must also educate ourselves more about how the cycles of life work on the planet Earth. Spend more time in nature. Grow some of our own food in home gardens when we can. Being connected to nature has proven to be very healthy and a healing part of life. Again, as we tune in and tap into a greater understanding of how our food is grown and raised, how interconnected and interdependent we are to the whole of the planet, and take responsible actions accordingly, we will not only make ourselves healthier, we'll be healing the whole of all creation as well. This is a gift that will last for generations to come. So that's all I'm going to read today. But if you're interested, there's obviously much more in the book, Nourish Yourself Whole. And I hope you'll check it out. You can go to matthewalbrocht.com or nourishyourselfwhole.com and learn a lot more. And thank you for the time and listening to this. And I wish you a beautiful year, a healthy, vibrant, wholesome, love-filled, peace-filled year. Thanks so much.